Hello, guys, and welcome back again to another amazing episode. And as you guys already know, this is the diaspora transition episode, right? We have conversation with diasporans who are currently living here or even going back and forth. And I must tell you, today is a little bit different. We are doing this podcast style ish, and there's someone special in the building, together with other special people. And he goes by the name Austin. The second name is always very hard to pronounce. Holloman, Austin Holloman. And he's been traveling everywhere. He started from Brazil, went to Kenya, Tanzania. Listen, the list goes on, and he's here in Ghana exploring all type of exploring the Ghana chocolate and everything. And I have him here on the podcast to have a dialogue. And I have three amazing young women, beautiful, pretty here with us. It wouldn't be right without women, you know what I'm saying? So, and one goes by the name Wendy, Marlo, and Lala, and it's going to be a pretty good conversation. They are all African Americans, right?
No.
You are. So I mean, Wendy is a Ghanaian, right? But then lived in diaspora for a very long time. Lala is a Jamaican, but lived in America for a very long time. And then Marlo is also a Sudanese, but also grew up in America. So let's see. We're gonna have a good conversation. Are you guys ready? All right. I'm levels a little bit, but yeah, I'll get used to it. So without further ado, right? I'm gonna allow everybody to introduce yourself, and we start with the main man himself, Austin.
I'm Austin Holloman, a world traveler. I'm very opinionated and I love it. And a lot of people don't like my opinions. And that's good because that's good for engagement, right? It keeps the numbers up and keeps the subscribers going. And I'm going to keep it up.
I like that. So, is it going to the right or left? On your left is Marlo.
Yeah. I'm Marlo. Marlo Moves on YouTube and Instagram. I am a woman working in tech, black in tech, and I also travel quite a bit and live partially in Ghana and the US.
I like that. And on your right is Lala.
Hi, my name is Lala. My name on YouTube is Lala's Journey. I'm here journeying through Africa. I started in East Africa, now I'm in West Africa, and I'm just enjoying my time with these people.
And then Wendy, who don't want her face to be on camera. Introduce yourself a little bit.
So I'm Wendy. I grew up in Ghana, did my education here all the way through JSS 3, did 1 year of secondary school, went to the USA, did 11th grade, 12th grade, did my whole college, so I'm a doctor, did that. Business in the US, business in Ghana, moved here for about 2.5 years at one point, returned back to the US 2020. I'm back now due to work remotely. So I have a lot of interesting opinions as well, and I'm not shy to share it. So this should be interesting.
Yeah, let's go for it. So, Austin, a lot of people are just commenting down on the recent video that we did. You said some things about Ghanaian women. Yeah, and she kind of disagreed with you a little bit, and I want her to point out what she disagreed with you, and then try to explain yourself as much as you can. All right. So Wendy, just go ahead. What did you disagree, or what?
The part that I disagreed with is when he said the dating scene in Ghana emulates what happens in the U.S. and not necessarily true. I mean, what you witnessed is accurate, but the reason behind why it is the way it is what is inaccurate. So the interpretation of the reality that you saw. So, I'm sorry? Yes. So for instance, in Ghana, dating it's highly transactional, right? But it doesn't come from doing it because they've seen people in the US do it. It comes from the poverty. So even for the men to earn a living here is very difficult. I mean, scratch earning a living. Like when I talk to staff at home, employees I've had. I mean, I've done business in Ghana where at one point I had 20 employees, right? So I engage with them. And you find out that there isn't a lot of hope. You know, I mean, in the US, you go to school, you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, you have an idea, when I finish school, I'm going to make X amount of money, get good grades and get a job, and there's hope, right, for your life. Over here, there is none. You can be the best student in your classroom, go to college, get a job, and it's peanuts. They give you 2,000 cities. The cost of gas in your car alone to get to work every day is 1,500 cities. We haven't even gotten to food yet. And then how much do you even save to buy the car? You haven't paid for rent. the living is just bizarre. So now if you even add on a woman, right, that's coming into it, which mostly a lot of these jobs are favored towards men in a way. Back in the day, not as much as it is now, but back then a lot of the jobs went to the men first. If me as a woman go in, apply for a job as a bank teller, the bank manager would want to try to sleep with me. He wants to go on a date with me. I have to smile with him, engage with him in a way that typically might make me uncomfortable, which the US now has a Me Too movement to kind of downplay that a bit and kind of try to get rid of that a bit. But here we're not quite there yet. It's non-existent. So think of the Wild Wild West, the US maybe 30 years ago. We're still dealing with that here now. So now looking at this girl, let's say Susie, okay, she's unable to get a job. And even if she does get one, she might have done a lot of sacrifices to get it, okay? So now she's working, he's working. There just isn't money. So the men are hustling, the women are hustling. But see, stress-wise, women don't deal with stress as well as men, you know? And you're talking from I'm a very ambitious entrepreneur woman, and I can say it, facts. We don't deal with stress as good as men. We're emotional creatures, maybe blame it on the estrogen. But now you have a woman trying to play a man's game, and even the men are getting tired of it. It's hard for them. Bottom line is, the women quit and realize, you know what, screw it. Why should I stress myself getting this job, 2,000 cities, it's not enough. When the bank manager wants to sleep with me, he's gonna get me an apartment, get me a car. I'm gonna be able to live a life, and all I have to do is sleep with him, when I could have a broke boyfriend and sex is sex. So nothing, and Gando say nothing spoiled, right?
Yeah.
So she's gonna go sleep with him and do that. And you have the young man who is now making the same 2,000 cities. He can't afford her. So he either has to wait to get his money up to afford a woman like her, especially if she's good looking. And in Ghana, if she's light skinned, forget it. That's top notch, you know.
Really?
That's facts. If you're light skinned, I don't know anybody who's light skinned, mixed race, that's a friend of mine in Ghana with a broke guy. I haven't seen it. It doesn't exist. I don't know of any.
You see it in the States.
You say even the States too. There
No,
you go.
No, I
so,
say you will see it in the States a lot.
yeah, but so over here.
No, I'm disagreeing with that.
You're disagreeing. No,
You'll
because
see
in the
plenty
States,
of light skin with broke folks with no car and no job.
But the difference is, right, in the States, right, it's a numbers game. Light skin is a dime a dozen. Light skin is not a commodity. Over here in Ghana, our natural complexion, we're quite dark skinned. So light skin is exotic. Just like in the US, if I see a Kim Kardashian or you see a Puerto Rican looking chick, the black dude will pedestalize her because she looks different.
Let me ask. I want to know, Marlo, right? Do you agree with that? That light skin are seen as the high.
Yes, colorism is real. So I think for the most part, yes. But then also if you're a beautiful black, dark-skinned woman, I think your pretty privilege can trump it, honestly, in some ways, because you're seen as like, it's like, I don't know.
Because beauty is beauty either way, right?
So I think you're not going to attract the masses necessarily, but you might be more appreciated in a less interchangeable way. I think you're seen more, I think you might be cherished a little bit more, honestly.
Now, I want us to
But we're
speak
trying,
about,
so the point to land, what I'm saying is, to his point, that Ghana, with the dating scene, it's emulating, it's not a US thing, it's a poverty thing, it's a I need to survive thing, this is the game they play here. Just like the man with money will marry me and have two other women, and if I'm with him for the money, I look the other way, whereas in the US, he might get divorced. His wife might leave him and take half. Over here, the wife might not get half, so she has to stay and be okay with that and pretend she hasn't seen nothing.
You thought about that way too deeply because I didn't think about any of that.
No, I didn't.
I was just referring to how warm they are. They're not as warm. In the States, they're
elaborate
pretty,
on that.
In the States, they're pretty cold, and there's a lack of substance when you go on a date, and I got reminded of that here.
Okay, Lala.
Yeah.
What is your opinion?
She
on
got
that?
some substance.
Yeah.
Oh, I have substance. Yeah, I'm born in Jamaica, you know, and raised in America, so I've seen both sides, and I've lived here in Ghana, so I see her side as well.
Be careful with the mic.
Yeah, I've seen her side as well, you know, but it's all like an imaginary thing, you know, because I've had light-skinned girls feel insecure around me because they see that I can attract the same men as them, and they will try to, like, you know, undermine me, and you know, but it's all a mental thing. And when you're in poverty, yeah, you could see light skin as like a symbol of, you know, wealth, because that's what's program to these people, you know, but it's not necessarily true. But I can see both sides, you know.
Interesting. Austin, let me ask you this, right? You've been here for 7 days, right? You've dated. How many days have you been on so far?
One, that was all I needed.
What?
One, that was all I needed.
One?
Wow, that's a
Okay.
very
One,
small
that was all I
sample.
needed, and I needed to just look around.
How did you
Just
go?
like you said, you can read, I can read very well.
So,
And I have not been wrong yet.
so what you're saying is, so I guess back to your point, because you said I read into it too deeply, right? So let's bring it to
Yeah,
the surface
'cause
of it. So what
the-
you, correct me if I'm wrong, right? So what you were trying to express is that, was that the Ghanaian women just aren't as warm. Was that what you were saying?
I was talking about as far as meeting them.
As far as meeting them, they're not as warm.
So they are just pretending.
No, so I can
Not to
speak
be
to that.
interested.
So it's a cultural thing, right? Like as you see me, I'm very communicative, engaging, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's just how the culture in the States is. You're raised that way and that's what you become. Me in Ghana, per the culture here, there's something wrong with me. They would say you're talkative or you're,
Yeah, see, I gotta be around the talkative women.
yeah, but even at baseline, the baseline that you're talking about, the norm that you would have preferred here, they would consider it talkative. You know, like here, they'll consider it she's easy to get. They'll consider it she's
Well,
too
then I need
available.
the easy one.
They'll consider she's too available. So per the culture here, right, how we're raised, Ghana is all about quote unquote humility. It is
Yeah.
hypocrisy in my opinion. I'm Ashanti, right? So Ashanti is about as traditional as it gets. You know, and my mother looks at me sometimes like, what happened to you? So the way they want you to be is like, Wendy, what would you drink? Oh, whatever you have. Do you want to cook? Sure. Are you okay? Yes. They're not meant to initiate conversations. They're meant to answer questions.
I thought Ashantis were more rebellious.
No, the men are very boisterous and very out there, but the women are. It's all about humility. Because I'm Ashanti on both sides, mom and dad. It's humility, humility, humility. So the more shy you are, like if you come off quiet, reserved, you don't speak much, only speak when you're spoken to, it's like, wow, that's a good woman. She's marriage material. I need to wipe her up. That's who I need to take home to mama. And if she goes home to your parents, wow, that's amazing.
That's part of the patriarchal system now. Was that here before colonization or after?
I wasn't born back then, so I can't speak to it. But what I can say is, given how I was raised, given how I've seen friends be raised and opinions of people and everything else, being Ghanaian, that is what it is. And especially me, being Ghanaian and being American as well, it's something that I had to struggle with a long time with. I'm not ever Ghanaian enough, and I'm neither full American because I never identified as such. But here in Ghana, something is wrong with me just for being basic. Because the culture my own mother will beat that into me every single day, till this day. And I'm 35 years old.
So what do you
And
think
it's
the
still-
solution is?
I mean, the solution is, for me, I'm a grown woman, right? Nobody feeds me, nobody clothes me. Live your life. You know, success in my definition is not money. Success is you finding your own joy and happiness, whatever that means for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not what you think or what he thinks or what I think. If it works for you,
Yeah.
then go for
Because
it.
my parents, they're born in Jamaica, you know, but they had a interdependent relationship. So I seen them, you know, work. My mother, she have opinions, like you mentioned earlier. She's very opinionated, but you know, they had a balance there. So it wasn't like the traditional Jamaican household. So it's all about, you know, working with what's best for you.
Yeah, here
You
you
know?
can't be. I mean, if you want to,
me,
everybody knows this. If you're going to be with an Ashanti man and marry one, you got to zip it. Like, it's not about you. It's
So-
you can't be with one.
Yeah, Austin, what kind of woman are you looking for? Try to paint that picture for us.
You need to go down a checklist and I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause that's a
Okay,
yeah, go
so-
down a
Words.
checklist.
Because you've been
3
to
words.
3
Go ahead.
You've been to you've been to Brazil, Kenya, 6 other African countries. You said you read a lot. You study people a lot. What kind of things are you trying to, you know?
Let me say this: in Kenya and in Brazil, they're very talkative. They're very easygoing, and they're not argumentative. Those are the main 3.
Okay. So being here in Ghana, do you think the Ghanaian women?
I don't think they're argumentative, but they're not that talkative, like she said. And I like to talk a lot, and I can't force you to say nothing either.
You know, we were talking earlier about making female friends in Ghana, you know, as international
Yeah.
women when you get here. And it's kind of difficult
Yeah.
to make Ghanaian women friends.
Really?
because-
How?
Yeah.
So it's worse for me. Yeah.
No, they're right.
No,
They're 100%
it's difficult,
right.
I think, for the same reason.
What makes it
culturally.
difficult?
I think culturally, women in Ghana are not as open when they first meet you, just the same way she just explained. So I actually don't think you should take it personally, because I think it's for
it's-
men and women.
and women,
They're just
yeah.
not going to show you all of their emotions and their thoughts and everything right off the bat. I've been able to make some really great Ghanaian friendships, and they're very reliable. That's the one thing
Yeah, I was
would
gonna say loyal.
They're very loyal and reliable, and they'll then when you're behind closed doors and you are actually safe as friends, they'll talk about everything and anything. So
That's
in
definitely
ways like
true.
women
I
will
think
walk
it's a lack
around.
of trust at
No, I mean,
first.
that is kind of what I told
So I
him. I
think
said,
that's
Ghana,
an
it's all about
understanding.
somebody kind of ushering you into it. So, like, let's say if I know Hayford and I introduce you to him,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, you know, I would extend to him or vice versa. Now, you automatically get it by default simply because you've been quote unquote vetted. So, here it's all about vetting. You know, if they're not, they don't know
Yeah, I
you
like to
yet-
meet people on the spot.
I
I'm
think
sorry?
also-
I like to meet people on the spot.
Spontaneity.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you can meet people on the spot. Ghanaians are very friendly, but I think the way Ghanaians naturally or traditionally date is by introducing one another. So they'll meet each other here and there, and it's a very small country.
Like, I've never dated, my whole life, I've never dated anybody off the street
yes, it's
that
not
I
common
met at a
here.
bar.
So yeah, so they introduce
Like,
each
my
other.
sister married somebody that was my older sister's roommate's younger brother. It's always
So is it like
an inner
you're trying to
circle
be
thing.
careful? That's why you date like that.
I mean, because it's we want that reputational clause, right? So if I'm dating you and you're linked to my brother, cousin, or whoever, you can't just do me dirty and disappear. You can't. There's no ghosting. Ghosting to where? They're gonna come to your parents. It's embarrassing, and then you quickly get labeled as the bad dude in the group. Nobody is gonna touch you ever.
Wait, so do you think Kenyan women are more like American women? Because you, like you said, they're more talkative, they're more trusting at first. So is that what you mean?
They share similarities, but where I was at, they wasn't that damn talkative.
Oh,
Not in Dallas, and she might disagree, but
because I think
You said
Kenyan
Dallas,
women
they're
are
more
more
talkative?
they're
modern,
not.
like-
No, people in Dallas are very cliquish. They're almost like a
They are
Ashanti people.
cliquish. Yes.
Yeah, that's why I left.
Yeah, they are cliquish. I mean, when I go out in Dallas myself, it is like that. And Dallas is it's either an all-white place where it's mostly white and bougie, or it's black. Like, Dallas doesn't have a good middle ground. Where some spots are coming up now with that sort of middle ground thing. But you're right, it is cliquish, and it's very wannabe-ish as well.
Yeah, see, I'm not a wannabe.
With nothing to offer either.
Yeah.
And you know what, to your point, a lot of what you even say on your channel with Passport Bros, elements of it is facts. You're not speaking out of a vacuum, and I can comfortably say that, right? Because I've seen some of my friends do it. I've been out with an African American lady, okay, and these gentlemen, 3 guys, we're at a bar. They approach us. You're trying to talk to us, whatever, and I'm engaged. And I'm like, hey, hi, what's up, whatever. We're just chit chatting. I'm like, I'm out to have a good time. I don't have to go home with you. You're a good time for the night. And she's like.
Okay.
Not like that. We know what
Because
you're
that was contradicting the way I sounded. Go ahead.
Yeah. And she was the African American one, like true African American, very standoffish, very ill. Tracy, why are you talking to these people? Kind of wants to size them up out the gate to see if they're worth a conversation. Very nose up in the air. They asked us what we all did for a living. Just in conversation, she got very defensive. Why do they need to know what I do for a living? And in my head, I'm like, well, if you're proud of what you do, what do you care about being asked? You're just trying to make conversation. We're adults. If you're kids, you say, where do you go to school? If you're adults, what do you do for a living? What do you do for work? Because you might network anyhow, right? She got very defensive. It was negative to the point where by the end of the night, we were outside where we got upset, and I had to check her that when I'm out to have a good time. I live a very stressful life in the course of trying to make money with what I do. I'm here to just unwind. I'm not here to judge who makes money, who doesn't make money that I'm going to engage with. Because whoever I'm going to date or marry, it's from a different pot. Over here, it's good time. So if you're not ready for that, don't follow me next time.
Interesting.
Yeah, she could have stayed at home.
Exactly. But to your point, I did notice that myself, and I told myself, like, damn, like this is too it was too strong. Like the way she came off to them so angry. And I'm like, for
Yeah,
what?
People don't believe me, but I'm glad you said it.
No, you're 100%. You're not. That's what I'm saying. You're not speaking out of a vacuum. There are always going to be exceptions to the rule. And sometimes people on YouTube will get upset off of, but I'm not like that. Well, but that's you. Just like I can comfortably say dating in Ghana is transactional. Shoot me if you want to, that's facts. Because I've seen people do it. I've seen women tell me how they finesse the men, and I've seen men equally tell me point blank, Wendy, we want to be with you and be with 3 other chicks, and when we got the money, we can do that. And they're trying to recruit me to that. This is facts. Yes, there'll be exceptions, but I'm not going to sit here and say that it's all lies. So yes, the thing about the African American, I don't know where it comes from, but it's there.
Is it one of the reasons why you don't like Ghana so far?
No, they don't come off rude like that. No, I just like to be talkative. Yeah.
Like he wants to vibe, just engage, just chill, relax, let
I
it
like
flow.
to sit down and
But
talk.
in America, like women differ based on the location. So in New York, they're not usually like the friendliest and open, just like, Ghanaian women. But in the South, where I was raised, we're really friendly and outgoing. And he's from Texas, so I don't know if.
No, Dallas is Dallas is not your typical Texas, right? Dallas is like a wannabe Cali, but you're not Cali just yet.
Okay.
It's like the way I see Texas is like you take New York and you take a typical suburb, put it in a blender, and that's Dallas. It's somewhere in the middle of God knows what. There's literally, in Dallas, don't say, let's keep Dallas pretentious. It's very pretentious. You see people making $50,000 a year trying to act like they're millionaires.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
So
let's Austin, I want to come back to you, okay? Before, what made you said in the earlier video, right, that you almost went crazy dealing with American women.
I did. I thought something was wrong with me for that. I told you. I thought I was dressing gay or something like that. I thought that because it was more men than women approaching me. So I was like, maybe they think I'm gay or something like that.
But Dallas, honestly, I lived in Oakland. They would approach you. You're a little too clean.
What do you mean by
that's
that?
What it is.
No, like in Oakland, so that's the look. Like you're dressed, the way you're buttoned down with that top, that button needs to be closed.
I can't button it up. I can't button
No,
it up.
but I'm saying though, like your look, you're
Yes.
But that's
you
not
have
it's
because
it's not attracting a woman.
No,
a
but-
male.
but-
it's meant to attract a woman, isn't it? How do you?
no,
determine if
I'm
something
trying to
is-
tell you something here, Hayford. I lived in the neighborhood. That's Oakland, okay? That's what Oakland is about. So I know it, okay? You're a handsome looking guy.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And you're clean cut, well groomed, you look like you work out, the button is open, that's the look. They love that. So if you're hanging around that side of town, they will come after you. Like based on your mannerisms, if I didn't even know you and you're lurking around that neighborhood, I would assume you're one of them.
Well, I wasn't over.
Really?
Yeah, we were just having this discussion earlier because I spoke with a Ghanaian woman and she was like, in this area, you'll run into a lot of,
In
down
Osu.
low men. Yeah,
In
in
Osu.
Osu. Yeah.
Oh, in Ghana too?
Yeah, like gay
Oh,
men.
yeah, I don't
Because
know that.
one thing he said is in Ghana, more men are actually approaching him than women.
In Ghana?
Yeah, he
The
tweeted that.
men.
Well, for that, I'm not a
Yeah.
man. I can't speak to that, but I do know that all I can speak to is, does his look like he could be
That's what we were
misconstrued
saying.
as being on the other side? And the answer is yes.
Yeah, because we were
So that's
saying
all I
like
know.
if you want to spot a straight man, his shoes got to be a little dirty. It's got to be something out of place.
Okay, that's good.
It's got to be something out of place if you really want to. But when you have the clean look, it's confusing.
No, I think what it is too is I think we're missing
For
a major
some
point
women,
though. You have a
because
very
you're looking out.
like I could put a
Bruh.
wig on you and you could pass for a
I
female.
heard
Like
a
you
woman
have
say,
a feminine
take
look.
opposite of what you just
Like
said.
as far as your
It's pretty.
yeah, like your nose is not thick and wide. You don't have big lips. It's a compliment though,
Yeah.
because that's why I said you're handsome, right? Men, they say must be what? Fearful and ugly, right? And that's not you. Like you don't have these sort of manly.
So how does
Feature.
that
Well,
becoming
none
so,
of that mattered when I was in Kenya or Brazil.
Yeah, because they have more Eurocentric features.
But I don't think Ghanaian women would see him and assume he's gay. I can't say that.
No.
They
But
don't.
I think your look does fit East Africa more. This
Yeah.
is how East African men would dress.
Yeah.
Versus West African men.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean it's just the shirt though. But other than that,
Nah, it could
if
be in
it's
a
buttoned
t-shirt,
up,
too.
then it's fine. I mean, as far as the way the button is like down here like that. If you close it,
I can't close it. I can't close it.
no, I mean if it makes you
gotta
happy
keep it
keeping
open.
it down like that. Like if I was in ATL and I saw a guy with the button all the way down, cause see in college I had a gay roommate. That's how they dress.
Yeah.
So if I see that in ATL, you talk to me and said hello, I would be like hi, and you'd never see me again.
That's why I'm not in the United States. That's exactly.
And I know
that
most
kind of-
men
the
kind of
judgmental.
side with you on that because they don't want to deal with that complications. They just want to take themselves out of that equation. So get that simple ball rolling. So the ladies though, have you guys tried dating Ghanaian men, and what's your opinion on that? Let's just divert a little bit.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I've dated Ghanaian men, and
Can you describe what a Ghanaian man is in your opinion?
Ghanaian men love women, I think. You have some cultures where men don't act like they like women. And I think Ghanaian, like the United States,
Right.
sometimes
We were just
men
talking
feel like you feel like you're competing
Right.
with the man for.
No.
I mean, it might
Yeah.
not be you, but I think you'll have experiences where they genuinely do not appreciate femininity.
And they don't wanna
And they don't-
pursue you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't pursue women. Here, Ghanaian men pursue women. It's very easy to meet a man here as a woman.
How do they pursue women? Please tell me.
Consistency.
Yeah, they'll meet. I mean, just out and about. It's usually pretty respectful.
Well,
like,
no, in the
but
United
it's
States,
usually-
when you consistent, that comes off as thirsty.
well,
Yes, let's talk about
I
that.
think here. I'm just describing
They
my
don't
experience with
chase
Ghanaian
you
men.
here. They pursue you. If you're not interested, they stop.
They do stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I
it's
would
not
stop too.
thirsty. It's not thirsty.
Well, I'm saying
Yeah.
in the United States, they take that as thirsty.
Well, they don't want to even start the pursuit.
Yeah.
Pursuing,
No,
in
they don't-
America,
they-
they don't
they wanna
even
start,
start
'cause they wanna sleep with
pursuing
you,
like
so
they
they don't
want to
start.
just you to
Well, I
chase
think the
them.
thing here
How
is-
does that make you girls feel?
well, I
I think
here-
what she's referring to, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, is that here, when they like you, when they see you, you will know.
Yeah.
Like
There's
here,
no
you could
question.
they thirst for you. You could see it in their eyes,
I
like a
love it.
freaking dog. It's raw. Like you would see
But
it.
I don't even think it's like a
in
dog.
America, but when you come
It's
to
not.
Africa,
It's not
No,
like a
I
dog.
love
But it's
Like a
not
Ghana man
like-
will see you and say, "Wow, you're beautiful."
Yeah,
They will not
but it's-
hesitate.
it's your
Yeah.
But in the
beautiful.
U.S., I've
You're
had some
beautiful.
white people do that though. Like literally, I'll be walking through the mall, they'll turn
Yeah.
around like, "Don't take it the wrong way." Again, because of Me Too, they gotta preface it and say, "Wow, you're absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to know that." So I've seen that, but it's not as common. But here, it's in your face. Whereas in the U.S., men don't approach women as much anymore. You could go to a bar, he could think you're
That's
beautiful.
because of the women.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
some of the
but not
women-
just that too, but the
some.
online dating, because everybody's there on their app.
Yeah, and everybody.
You know,
thinks-
whereas
yeah.
here we don't have an online dating culture. If we did here, maybe eventually it will turn into what it is in the U.S. But men don't approach the U.S. as much. There's that fear of rejection. You know, men are not as masculine about that anymore. So
Yeah.
she's absolutely
well, when
right.
you do approach, it's like you said, they're standoffish.
Yeah.
So I stopped approaching too. When I
Well,
got to Brazil, I didn't
I
stop.
mean, well, as a woman who wants to be with a man
Pursued.
and pursued, that's the difference. Here, they'll come up to you and it's respectful. It's
Yes.
always hello, beautiful, hello, goddess, hello,
Yeah.
queen. But it's like not the
Don't
queen.
say it. Don't say
It's
it.
not queen.
Don't say
It's
it.
not queen, but it's genuinely
I
like.
want you to say goddess.
No, but here I hear it and I hear the intention behind it. It's genuine. Like I see you,
I
goddess.
like you, yes.
I like you. I see
They
the aura.
respect
They
women more.
respect and they love women.
Like here, the woman is like, I was here in Ghana, a woman is a reward to a man's hard work. That's literally the culture here. It's like, look, I've spoken to, and I always talk to people because I'm very curious. I've spoken to drivers. I've spoken to the houseboy at home. I've spoken to whatever. I'm like, why don't you have a girlfriend? What's going on? Oh, madame, I have to get my money right. I have to get my. I said, why? Why do you need to get your money to a level before you can even have a basic girlfriend, right? He's like, nah, the kind of woman I want, I need money. So when he finally now gets money, he's like, yup, now I can step to her and I'm gonna go get it.
But it's more than that, though. You got to bring more than that to the table.
Oh, here is money. Money is the first thing and the last thing, period. Point blank. The men are not trying to do
So
no
the other
emotional-
thing, though,
haven't
you
you
have to
noticed?
be-
Yeah, but it just stops there sometimes.
I want to hear what you have to say.
you have to be careful as a diasporan woman dating in Ghana or just when you're traveling, because there are plenty of men that just want to use women for their funds as well. Like they'll see you as like a they
ATM
see you as a
machine.
ATM machine
It's
or a
all
ticket.
transactional.
I think that
to
is,
the
that is
other-
a cake, to be honest.
Yes,
Yeah, I
I've
don't
had
think
men
so. They're trying
approach
to
me.
sweet
No,
talk
no, no.
you.
Two types of men.
Yeah.
I've had men that try to approach me because they genuinely do see me as this goddess that they want to get to know, and then there's men that see a meal ticket. They
Oh,
hear
wow.
they hear
Like
the
a green card.
accent. It's a green card. Check. You can see the
But I
sparkle
think
in the
that
eyes.
that
That's
ratio
what-
is very minimum now.
It depends on which neighborhood you're in.
It depends
Okay.
on the neighborhood.
Okay.
So I would say
interesting.
you have to
Wanted
be
to say
very
something,
careful.
Austin.
You have to be
I need to
very
go to the
careful.
bathroom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got
All right.
Yeah,
All
too
right.
much coffee.
All right. No problem. All right. Let me ask you. While she's away, right?
Okay.
Let me ask you, right? What is like your? I want to know your checklist as a woman, right? You know, what do you look out for if a man approaches you? What box are you checking and stuff like that? I'll start with you.
For me, I appreciate ambitious men. I'm an
Yes,
ambitious woman. I have a lot of my own, so I need him to surpass my level because I want a man who leads, but who's open-minded and very willing to work together for like a future vision, and who's kind. Like I'll watch you. If you're not kind to
So, if
everyone, then I'm not interested personally.
If he's kind to everybody, you're not interested.
No, the opposite. If he's only kind to me, but he's not kind to the service workers or kind to his neighbor, then that's not a man that I would be interested in. So as long as he's ambitious, he's kind, and he wants to do something serious with his life and our relationship, then that works for me.
Lala, what's your checklist?
I mean, she just took everything that I was going to say, but ambitious, someone who is living his life intentionally, you know, in his purpose, and someone who's consistent in everything that he does, including me, and someone who is just like kind as well, someone who is not kind to get things in return, but genuinely kind as a person, you know? And yeah, someone who can also, like she said, work with me and be like in an interdependent relationship, because I don't want to be like what Wendy described, like, okay, now I got the money, I'm good, I got you. I don't want something logical. I don't want a transactional relationship. I want my purpose mate. You know?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I want someone who we genuinely can enjoy what we do and discuss it together. You
I like
know?
that.
Yeah.
Wendy.
What do I like in a man?
Yep.
Number one, he has to know who he is. Point blank, period. Start, beginning, and the end. Because a man that knows who he is, and with knowing who you are, step one, that guides you to know what you want. That way, when he sees me and he's dealing with me, if I happen to be what he wants, he knows it. You know, not a confused man. A man that's very self-assured, confident. An insecure man will break you.
Yeah.
You know, and when I say confidence, it's inner. It's not what you ooze out of you, right? A man that has a sense of direction about his life. You know, you don't have to be a millionaire, but know where you're going. Be hopeful and optimistic about your own future, and have an idea of how you're going to get there. You know, so you don't necessarily need to have the GPS address, but know that, okay, I'm at least going to Osu.
Right.
And then when I get there, I'll ask around and see how I get to the house. So that, very important. A man that, there's this one in the tree word, but I'm trying to find the English translation to that. A man that, let's say, if something bothers me, it bothers him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Protective.
Like I'm important to him. Like
Yeah.
if I'm in Ghana and I'm having, let's say, internet issues, you know, he's gonna try to call his friends like, yo, what's going on? When he's having internet issues, like, do you know, what can I do? MTN is not working. What, you know, he's trying to help me problem solve.
Yeah.
You know, that is very important as well.
Well, that's fine, but in the United States, again, those are nice guys. And those get taken advantage of.
No, but nice.
You bring flowers to the job, you soft.
But you
But
know
what
what,
are you
yo,
Hey,
but,
doing
hey,
that
goddess.
for, though? Are you
Better not
doing
say
that
but can
that.
I
to
say
gain
something though?
something
Can
in
I say
return?
something? I have friends who have been that and did get taken advantage of. So again, you are right. However, this is what I do say. I'm a nice woman too, and I've had situations where somebody tried to take advantage of me by pretending to be what they were not. Okay, but I found him out eventually. My point is this: you still need discernment. So just because you're doing the right thing doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to have the right woman or the right man. You also need to know who you are, have a sense. Everything that I've mentioned for somebody else applies to me as well. So it's my job to vet whoever I'm dealing with, you know, genuinely get to know him, not meet somebody, have sex with him the first night, emotions are running. Now you guys, all you do is have sex. You're not really getting to know each other at all. You know, you're not really engaging with him. You're just, so it's still on you, nice or not, to make sure that whoever you're dealing with is safe and is going to be right for you. That doesn't exclude you from having discernment. So yes, do nice guys get taken advantage of? Absolutely. But does being a bad guy still get you the nice woman that you ideally want? Maybe, maybe not.
In Texas, it will.
But I'm saying there are no guarantees either way.
And that's where people get it mistaken. Are you being nice or are you genuinely kind? Because if you're genuinely kind, you being nice shouldn't disappoint you if you don't get what you want in return.
But here's the
Because
thing,
you
though,
shouldn't have
right?
expectations.
So let's
I'm
say,
different, I guess.
let's say you're being nice, because he's saying nice guys typically finish last, right? And here's my point.
said
If
that?
I'm in
They don't finish at all.
they don't finish it all. But see, but hey, Foot, my point to that is this, right? If I'm a nice guy,
Yeah.
and let's say she can't see me for the nice guy that I am, the question is she then the kind of woman I even
You
want?
want, right.
Because she doesn't know who she is, can't appreciate me. I don't want her anyway, and
But-
that's okay.
In the United States, most women will be the one that doesn't see it. Until they're about 50 years old.
Too, right? Because if you take a sample of 100 people, how many of them will be worth dating? Like for me, a sample of 100 men, especially here in Ghana, 100, it will be 0.25. That would qualify.
If I can interject, I think the whole conversation boils down to boundaries. Women don't respect men without boundaries. So if you're nice, but you don't know how to hold yourself up with a backbone, then yes, you're
Right.
going to be taken advantage of. And there will be people, just as a woman, who will seek out that person to take advantage of them.
Men
But
and women.
if you are kind, if you are nice with that extra bit of wisdom, that extra bit of, I'm not nice, but you can take advantage of me, I have my boundaries set, then that's the guy, I'm telling you, that's the guy I like. That's the guy I date. No, that's the guy I am attracted to.
I have a very nice guy, and I don't take advantage of him. Boundaries or not, I don't need him to have a boundary for me not to cross the line because.
Oh, I need men who have boundaries.
Because, and the reason is this, because I appreciate him for who he is, because he's exactly what I want, as he is. So I don't
their
need him to have a
preferences.
boundary or not. I got him. Period. You know what I mean? Like I don't need him to have
you appreciate
a
the
quote
person
unquote
you
backbone.
date.
You know, like.
Just the same as you know who you are and what you will take versus what you won't take, I need my man to know this is who I am. If you're going to lead me, then you have to be worthy of following. So I'm not going to go with just any guy who's willing to just say yes to anything. So
Yeah.
you have boundaries in general,
But I
you
think
don't
we're
have
mixing
walls.
up
I'm
different
not
things though, because in conversations, if we're trying to his point, because he spoke on what I described, and he said, based on what I described, most guys who do just that get taken advantage of, correct? He didn't say men without boundaries or men without a back, but being nice doesn't mean somebody lacks boundaries. And typically, to his point, if we're going off of what he just said, when a man presents as what I described, a woman would take advantage of him oftentimes, boundaries or not, because she's immature. She can't appreciate what's in front of him. And oftentimes, some of these nice guys equally go for women that aren't equipped
Bad
to
girls.
appreciate that. Just as some guys will go for a nice girl or a nice woman and wouldn't appreciate her, but the girl that doesn't want him is who he's calling all the time, trying to
Yep.
get her attention.
Most people
So
want what
again-
they can't have.
Again, discernment is not out of the equation. That's why you have to know who you are, what you want, and when you do see it, you appreciate it for what it is, and it's simple and it's easy. It's not complicated at all. Whenever relationship dynamics start to be complicated, you're in the wrong place. Relationships are not hard. They're hard when it's not evenly yoked and it's the wrong match. Simple as that. And for me, I waited. Like, if it's not what I want, I don't want nothing to do with it. Because oftentimes, I'm sorry, go ahead. Because oftentimes people get into relationships for the wrong reasons, right? Especially for women, it's like, oh, I'm getting older, I need a man. No, you don't need one. If you're Christian, it's God. If you're whatever it is, like, be content, be whole, be fulfilled, be complete. You have emotional problems, get you a therapist. The man is not Jesus Christ. He can't carry all of you and then some. Because a lot of times women want a man to be the daddy, the mama, the therapist, the boyfriend, and the husband, all wrapped up in one. Meanwhile, what are you to him? You know what I mean? So I'm all for accountability on both sides. I'm not going to ask a man to give me what I cannot and will not give to him.
Yeah.
I'm all about fairness. And at the same time, I'm not a nagging woman either. If you're not what I want you to be, because the person I'm with now, I switched somebody else out for him. I complained 1, 2, 3 times. By the third time, you're out. Because the way I see it, I'm Wendy, and I look at, if I'm the CEO of Wendy, how would I run this company? Complaining and trying to make a man be what he's not it's on you, the woman, not on him. He has a right to be what he wants to be. And if that works for you, you take it. But if it doesn't, you're making noise in his ears. Men respect actions. You leave. And then when you do leave, because men don't usually believe women when we talk. They think we're just talking. You walk away. If he values you, he'll come back and say, hey, what's going on? Now he's ready to listen when you make your demands or tell him this is what I want. But then again, do you want a man that's going to have to change for you, or a man who's naturally who you want him to be? Yeah. So again, it's the wrong match. You know, and some men do eventually mature, but again, it's a risk. Are you willing to wait? If you hire me for a job, do you want me already qualified, or do you want to have to train me? And I may or may not catch on to it. It's a risk. But again, as a woman, you only can have leverage when you're okay without a man. So to have a man, you got to be okay without one.
That's where
or to have a good man. Let me put it that way.
And I don't
You don't know.
So now you can go. I'm done.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I'm listening. Go ahead.
All right.
I'm just saying my solution is travel the world and figure out, because
What's
for
the best
me,
balance
I'd be somewhere crazy right now still thinking I look gay. And I go to Brazil and apparently I didn't look gay at all.
We got it. I mean, wrap up. Yeah. So, also, are you looking for a traditional woman, or
No, I don't want somebody that's not gonna say nothing to me, or
Interesting.
it's gonna be yes, no, robot mode and look like they're ready to go to church. I don't want that. No. That's why I like Nairobi. I just want somebody that is
It just be
easy
balanced.
to deal with.
Yeah, it has to be balanced.
interesting?
So I never said online I want no traditional.
But I can say how you come off though. Like, if I didn't know you, and I didn't meet you, and I'm just going off of what I see on your YouTube, as a woman, I wouldn't date you. And the reason why I would say it is this. Sometimes on your channel, some of the things that you say to describe women, it comes off like you're objectifying women. Kind of like you want a woman like this, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. It's kind of like you're willing to just, like a bee, hop around and just sample. You're not looking to find anything to settle with per se. Like, you're not looking for a woman to be with as a one-woman man, but you're sampling. You want to be where you can have a good time. You want easy, you know? That's how it comes off. So for a woman that's what she's looking for, then great. But
I mean, I don't look at it from a woman's perspective. No woman I've dealt with has ever said I objectified her. But you said sampling. That's why I said I'm young. So
yeah, so
I'm not gonna get green carded. No.
Yeah, so sampling.
So I am
there you
sampling.
go. So if a woman is okay to be sampled, then he's your guy.
Well, I don't think it's sampling.
A lot of them won't. There's a lot of volunteers.
And young men should date around till you figure out what it is you want. Hopefully without not, exchanging bodily fluids.
Yeah, but it's like, let's say I go to the shop and I know I'm looking for a pair of skinny jeans to buy. It's blue, right? So I'm shopping around till I find the blue skinny jeans that fit, versus I'm just window shopping. I don't know what I want, but I'm going to try the blue, the green, the yellow, the purple for the heck of trying them on.
But how old are you?
24.
At his age, I didn't really know what I wanted, and I wish I would have dated around instead of being in long-term relationships, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Then I would have realized what I actually want and settled down a lot earlier, So
Okay.
at 24, I think it's necessary.
The thing is, you don't get as much experience in the States, and that's why I told dudes to travel to figure out what
And
you
you're
fit in.
right.
I have a
You
few
are
countries
right.
I fit in very, very well.
I mean, at the end of the day, you go where you want it, you go where you're appreciated, and that's anywhere in the world. So, I mean, right before Ghana, I was in Europe, I was in Montenegro and Croatia, and the culture there is very different as well. So, you know what, I can respect what you're doing as far as you trying to expand and broaden your horizon, because in Texas, especially, people don't travel as much. So at your age, to be doing that, I mean, I commend you for it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't say a word, but I like it. Before we wrap it up, if you have a message or whatever that is to the people watching, what would that message be?
I think kindness and compassion is the ultimate gracious act. It's free, so I guess my only message is to always represent the best version of yourself and to be as kind as you can be.
Now, before you give a message, the date that you went out with a Ghanaian girl, I want you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 right now.
I'd say it's 2.
2.
Oh, jeez. Woo.
If you have more than one dead silence with me, it's a problem. And it's not me, because I talk for a living. So
We need a
it's
do-over.
it's not me.
Okay, so it's only right we make a do-over, right? So that's going to happen right after.
But you can consider tonight a date with 3 women all at once. There was no silence, right? It flowed.
Yeah.
Well, at least
yeah.
okay, I'm Ghanaian.
Do one after the other.
Okay, I'm
Sure,
I'm Ghanaian, so that qualifies, right? So this could have been a date afloat. I just met you, and it's just
Good
you know,
to know. The bar is very low.
yeah.
Yeah, too.
So what would you
that
say?
don't mean
So
I'm
hey,
gonna be
what you
impressed
should
that
ask
easy.
him is.
Ghanaian women. We need
So what you need to ask him is, having met me, Wendy, as a Ghanaian woman now, that has interacted with you
We don't
compared
want
to
to
your
answer
past.
right
No, I'm okay with that. No, it's fine. I'm a
Okay,
big woman.
what will you rate it?
So
After speaking
the
with-
other
Oh,
one was
later.
it too, because you're saying you don't want dead silence, you want engaging, you want blah blah. So now that you've met, this is another Ghanaian woman you've engaged with. I just met you today. So
This
on the
not
spot,
gonna
just
go
like
well.
you said you wanted it. So now you've seen another end of the spectrum. What's your take on that?
Give it an 8 because we didn't do any
Hey,
flirting.
okay.
You give it a what?
An 8 because we
Oh,
didn't do
8
any
is a good
flirting.
score. We'll take 8.
I give it an 8
That's
because
a B.
you talked the whole time.
Yeah, that's a B. We'll
if
take
there would have
it.
been flirting, it would have been higher. But other than
That's
that, it
okay.
was just a regular conversation.
So
8 is okay.
Austin, will you be down for like a date with Wendy out of the studio though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Okay. All right. Now say your final message to the people watching.
Well, the same thing I've been saying, which is to get your passport and travel somewhere else if you can relate to what I'm saying, because you don't have to deal with somebody that's standoffish for no reason. And there's somewhere where everybody fits in. Some dudes don't want to work on themselves, so I tell them to go to Asia. Don't come to Africa.
Why Asia?
And don't go to South America either.
You said don't come to Africa.
Why Asia?
Because it's purely transactional over there.
Oh, I see
So all you
what
need
you're
is
saying.
money. You can be 300 pounds at 5 foot, and that's just fine. They don't like it when I say that. That's fine though, because it's true.
But hey, you forgot to ask him a key question though. As I mentioned, he's
No,
a
you can
handsome.
ask.
You're a handsome young man. You, in my opinion, you shouldn't have any problems with approaching women and somebody being standoffish towards you. So that's a shock to me that you would say that you've experienced that.
What you mean?
Like meaning you're not ugly. So why would you? How
That's
would
the
it?
problem.
Are you kidding me? That's the reality.
You work on yourself, and then I'm like, why the hell is everybody like this?
So you're telling me, looking like you're at a bar, you try to tell
I'm
a girl hello, and she's standoffish
Yeah.
in the U.S.
I've had plenty of, I'm just out with my friends tonight, and I'm like, okay, well, that's one. It happened again. I'm like, that's why I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? It must be something wrong with me. I go to Brazil, I said, fuck all y'all. I'm not dealing with
wow.
y'all no more. In
Okay.
Brazil, even if they're not interested, it's very polite.
Yeah.
So I have a question. You're 24. Do you feel like the women you're approaching are looking for this package?
I've approached all races and age groups.
Okay.
How has it been with white girls in the U.S. when you've approached them? Are they?
you gotta be
How do they
careful with them.
receive you?
They're a little more, it gets better outside of black.
Okay.
It gets, but I put on my channel American women. I never say black women. I say Americans. To me, they all do the same things.
But I'm just curious about the white experience, like non-black, or what is it they call it these days?
I haven't dealt with that many white girls.
No
We can go to
color.
Hispanic.
So the Hispanic women, when you've approached them, has that been because you said go outside of America? So
It's
I'm
been
wondering,
better.
okay, if black didn't work, then how about other races in the U.S.?
It's better. It's not worth staying over there.
It's better,
It's better.
but not enough to make you want to stay and pick one from over there.
It's
Still have
still
to get
enough
out.
for me to get online and say American women and not just black American women.
So still not great either way.
It's not worth staying there. Yeah, it's better.
So do you think that it's easier to approach and attract women internationally? Is it easier solely because of their demeanor, or is it also because of your positionality and how you show up as an American man and what they think
Yeah.
that equals?
It's
their
not that, because
money
in Brazil you
equals
blend in.
Right? Dollar signs. Right? The dollar.
It's not because in Brazil you blend in. So I've had to show some women my ID because they thought I was Brazilian.
Okay.
And I can speak Portuguese too. So there was no, oh, he's American. I think it's
Even
just.
with your accent.
No, I speak Portuguese.
Okay.
Because over there too, the women are selling something, right? So, I mean,
What?
as far as I'll tell you, because I'm going to be very blunt. In Ghana, for instance, again, it's very transactional. So if I take 10 women, 7 out of 10 are selling, point blank. Shoot me if you want to. But 7 out of 10, they're selling, hoping you like me. Maybe you could have money to take care of me, so I'm going to vibe with you in exchange for you paying rent. So if I'm in a random bar at Sky Bar, and you approach me and you say hello, I'm not in a position to be standoffish. I need something. You could very well be the guy that's about to buy me a new Range Rover. So I need to at least say hello right back and see if it's you or not. And then maybe the next day I'll ghost you if after talking to you I realize you're not.
Is nice.
What do you think?
Right.
About?
I think a woman is as nice as her economic situation. Like if she has opportunities and autonomy in her career, you get to see the true them. Because if you take a lot of these women out of Kenya and you put them in America with the same economic opportunities, they may be just as rude or standoffish.
I disagree with that. As a woman with a very
Really
good economic situation, I don't think that's the case.
Okay, I like
So
that.
I think it's cultural.
Yeah,
simply.
cultural.
So I
That's
think East
exactly.
Africans are also trained to be docile to a degree, but we're trained to be very, very friendly the same way Americans are. Trained to be friendly to strangers. So maybe in Ghana, people are not trained to be friendly with strangers to the same degree as Americans are.
That's unfortunate.
It's
No,
just different
Ghanaians are
culture.
trained to be very friendly. It's just
Ghanaians
that
are very welcoming, but to a random stranger that you just met, I don't think they will strike up a random conversation. Versus in East Africa, you will. Like you're meant to. That's considered polite.
in Ghana, I don't know.
That's why I said go where you fit in.
It depends. It depends, because I've been to places where it depends on your energy and how you come off. To be honest, I'm yet to go anywhere and try to engage with anybody and they've been standoffish to me in Ghana, whether I was introduced or not. I speak the local dialect, I can switch it up. I enter a room, I'll speak Tree with the best of them. It's how you come off. And also in Ghana, if you see them do it differently and it comes off standoffish, sometimes it's simply caution. Ghanaians like to keep to themselves, just like would you see an introvert and judge them for not wanting to be so engaging with everybody in the room?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I think we're.
So
we have a similar
I think the
point.
word is not friendly. The word is rather keeping to themselves and then being more open to other people, even though they don't know. The introvert versus extrovert. That's how I would classify that.
There might be a different word to it, but
Yeah.
what I'm describing, I think we're in alignment that going up to a stranger in East Africa or a woman in East Africa, she'll likely be a little bit friendlier, or another word, than here, but I don't think it has to do with how kind people actually are or how genuinely welcoming they are to you, but it's just culturally it is
just
polite
caution.
to sit there
It's
and
just a
talk
caution.
to
It's a
strangers.
cautionary thing. It's like they don't know you. They don't know what to think. It's just caution.
It is culture because in Austin, Texas, I had a better experience. Not worth staying in the States, but it was better in Dallas. There's a different culture in Austin than there is in Dallas. But that's why I say go to where your personality fits. My personality is not in Texas.
Because Ghana has a culture of caution. Like, let's say in Ghana, right, if they were to spot me and him sitting somewhere at a restaurant, they'll automatically assume he's screwing me. They'll automatically assume something is going on. And it's going to go around like, oh, yesterday I saw Tracy with Kojo, today it's with Kwabena. And that becomes a thing. And now when a guy hears that, he doesn't want to date you. So I've come to learn, like, remember earlier when we were talking about that, having lived in Ghana for that 2.5 years, done business here, I had to learn that things I see here are that way for a reason. And if you observe it long enough and ask around long enough, you come to find out why. Maybe perhaps in East Africa, they're not as judgmental. Ghana is as judgmental as it gets. They're very judgy. And for that reason, people program themselves to be a certain way.
Yeah, I
to
get
fit
that,
that.
because I was dancing at this party
Yeah.
and the girls were looking like, what is she doing? I'm
Exactly,
like,
they're very judgy.
In Jamaica, we just dance to have a good time. Like, it's nothing.
Yes,
There's no
Ghana is very
attachment.
judgmental.
Right.
And it's like you might think you don't care, but after you have so many people pounce on you in your community or your group, you're going to conform.
Okay, all right.
I'm just gonna add one last point.
Yeah.
I think to that, Ghana is a small country, so people know each other's business. It carries quick, so I think that's why people are cautious, because it can spread like wildfire.
Send your message and let's go.
My message is just be honest with who you are, what you're looking for, with good intentions, and you'll find the person that's for you, whether they're in West Africa, Asia, Canada, wherever. That's
Okay.
my message.
Wendy's. Your
Final message, there's something to be said about exploration. There's something to be said about expanding your horizon. The world is a big place. If black doesn't work for you, try white. If white doesn't work, try blue, green, purple, whatever you want. But it all starts with, again, I'm a big believer in knowing yourself, knowing what you're about, being confident and assured in that, to where you're not needing somebody else to validate that, and just move in that. And while you do that, whoever is for you, you'll meet them. And when you do meet them, it just clicks. It's very simple.
I like that.
So
now, how do people find you? Your social media, your YouTube channels and stuff like that?
For me, on social media, it's Marlo_moves, and on YouTube, it's Marlo Moves.
Austin Holloman everywhere.
My YouTube is Lala's Journey, and on Instagram is journey_with_Lala.
All right. Wendy's?
I'm not on social media, no platform whatsoever, not even Instagram. So
All right. Thank you so much for being on the show.
She's a spy.
And,
thank you.
guys, this was a good one. Even though I didn't get to say so much, but it was good. Thank you for coming. We're going to put you on a date now. So without further ado, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been a wonderful episode. And subscribe, share to friends and family, comment down below. Let's get engagement going. And yeah, peace.